What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Saturday night's late night agenda on the eve of the Reds game against Fulham at Anfield. Look, it's another must-win game. We say this every week. We've lost 5 in a row at home in the league now, so surely we got to start turning it around from somewhere. And tomorrow seems as good a day as any. And then, of course, we've got the Leipzig game coming up on Wednesday. And for those of you that aren't aware, the second leg will be played in the same stadium, the Puskás Arena in Budapest, that the first leg was played in. So, you know, hopefully we can get through to the quarterfinal of the Champions League, and then you're 5 games away from potentially lifting that trophy. And let's try and be optimistic as and when we can, folks. You know, there's a lot of negativity floating around, so why not be as positive as we can while we can. A few results again today would have gone in our favour. As things stand right now, Leicester are losing against Brighton. Obviously, there's still plenty of time to go in that game. Other results today, of course, had seen Villa draw with Wolves, so they're dropping points as well. Arsenal drew. So, like, again, results are going in our favour, but all we can do is try and take care of our side of things and trying to start picking up a win. I hope you had a chance to check out my predictions video. I talked with Leon from Boyle Sports, of course. We had a look ahead. I gave you guys my predicted starting 11 and my score prediction as well. But yeah, look, I'll be live here tomorrow from 1:30 for that game with a watch-along and a post-match show. And then I'll be flying over to Mundo Sporto to do a watch-along of the Manchester Derby as well. And Jack Gill will then give you a second match reaction video on here after tomorrow's game. So look, I hope you're all having a nice Saturday, wherever you are in the world. It's always lovely to come on and chat with you guys. You're probably wondering about the Basuma and AOUAR links that are in the title of the stream. But, you know, me, folks, as always, all these things. I think Goal reported these, if my memory's correct. And look, it'll be one of a number of names linked to Liverpool Football Club in the summer, but we all know that perhaps some of our transfer business could depend on whether we can get a European place. And by European, of course, I mean Champions League place next season. Kloppo, the gaffer, again has come out and said that, you know, he doesn't want players that will not come here because if we don't have Champions League football, and he doesn't want people to come here only because we have Champions League football. And that's the right mentality from the gaffer putting it out there. But, you know, we are all grown-ups and it's much more difficult to attract people when you're not in the Champions League. But as things stand, we're not out of the race. I think we're going to need, I don't know, 10 wins maybe from the last 11, which is asking a lot, particularly with the form that we're in. It was great to see some news of Van Dijk out on the pitch doing some running again today as he steps up his recovery from that ACL injury that's kept him out for most of the season. So, you know, still a long way to go there for Verge, but, you know, I'll take any positive I can at this moment in time. It was Lallana, by the way, that gave Brighton the lead against Leicester, but there's still a long way to go on that game as well. Do I think AOUAR would be a good signing? Yes, look, he's a good footballer. Arsenal were close to looking at him. I think City might be looking at him. And there won't be a shortage of clubs around Europe looking at this guy. He's a very good footballer. But as I've said this before, Jean-Michel Aulas, the Lyon president, is a difficult man to negotiate with. So whatever club does go in there to try and get the deal done, it's not going to be straightforward. It never is with Jean-Michel Aulas. Yep, our managers won us the Premier League last year. Defo not out. Look, there's no way in God's green earth I'm ever going to turn Klopp out. That's just not in my makeup whatsoever. This season has been a clusterfuck for a load of reasons. Injuries, COVID, tiredness, some players just not playing up to scratch. Yes, there's been some decisions from the gaffer that we have a right to question as well, but you know, I'm expecting a big turnaround next season when we get back in the summer and we get cracking ahead of next season. So, for me, yeah, it's frustrating. It's horrible. First time in our club's history we've lost 5 league games at home in a row. But that's where we are. And we can't sugarcoat it. We can't disguise it. We've just got to be honest about it and hope that the lads have it in them to start fighting back. And, you know, tomorrow's the day we want to see the first win. Phillips and Davies against Fulham. I'm not sure if Davies is back from that injury yet. I mean, he's had a couple of little knocks since he's come in. He's yet to kick a football for us, of course. Someone saying Genie looks tired. I would imagine he probably is. Genie is, you know, one of our one consistent players all season that is always available, hardly ever injured, always puts in a shift as well. And like I've said before, it'll be an awful shame if and when Genie Wijnaldum leaves at the end of the season. I always try and be optimistic, guys. You know me at this point. Would you be focusing on the Champions League now if tomorrow's result doesn't go Liverpool's way? I don't think it should really change anything, Tiernan, because we should be focusing on the Champions League anyway. Like, you're in the competition, you want to try and win it. But I wouldn't be relying on it as our entry route into the Champions League next season, because look, let's be honest, City are still in it, PSG are still in it, Bayern are still in it. There's some very Chelsea are still in it. There's some very good clubs still left in the Champions League. So whoever wins it, they're going to have deserved it, and it's going to be a difficult competition to win because a lot of good sides at the moment in Europe. So, I'm not saying we can't do it, but I don't think it's something that we should be relying on. What have we got? I'm blue, da ba dee da ba da. I do like that one. I'm blue, da ba dee da ba da. What do you feel about not even getting Europa League? I'd rather not get Europa League than get Europa League, is how I feel about it, mate. I'd rather we just go into next season with just the league and the 2 domestic cups to focus on. I feel that will be an easier route to get back into the Champions League than having to have Thursday, Sunday football. And again, I've never once, mate, and I don't know if you're accusing me of this or just making a conversation point, but I've never once used VVD's injury for anything. I've never found excuses for this group of players. We have enough quality in this squad that even with the VVD injury, even with the Gomez injury, we still should be doing better than we have been, and we were doing right up until January. So, the injuries aren't the excuse that I go with. I just think that there's been a whole myriad of things that have come together and led us to this slump that we're in. But I certainly won't be just looking for an easy excuse, mate. That's not the way I go about things. City are scary this year. They are. Look, you got to give credit. I said this the other day. When I watched that Manchester City team, when it was 1-1 with Wolves, even when Wolves had that little spell after they'd equalised where they looked like it could score a second, there's just something about that City team at the minute, and we probably recognise it as Liverpool fans because we'd seen it in our own boys for ages, but they just look as if they'll find a way. And that's the sign of a very good team. And you just got to give credit in those scenarios. Thanks for reading my comment. No problem, mate. I'll try and get through as many as I can. I saw the preview, and do you really think Klopp will rush out of back? Is it rushing him back there, Ross? I mean, he got 30 minutes during the week. Looked good to me when he came on. He looked lively and fresh, and he'll have had more minutes training under his belt. So, yeah, I do think he'll start him, mate. But maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe he'll get another 30, and maybe he'll look to bring him in for the Leipzig game, but I expect him to start the game very, very soon. What else have we got? What do I think is the most consistent player? Who do I think is the most consistent player for Liverpool? It's a good question. Salah. Probably Salah this season. Yeah, probably Salah. There hasn't been many consistents for varying reasons. Trent had a dip, he had an injury. Robbo had a little dip for a while. We haven't had a centre-back pairing. Gini would, of course, have to be in that conversation. He's Mr. Consistency. But yeah, there's not been a lot of consistency, but Mohamed Salah has scored the most goals. Mohamed Salah is top of those charts, so probably go with Mo. For me, Jones and Milner. Jones has been amazing. I mean, what a breakthrough season this has been for Curtis Jones. I mean, I can't wait to see more of this kid in the future. Excuse me, I need to cough 1 second. Just got to mute my mic first. Sorry about that, folks. Opinions on Haaland? Is that, you mean Erling Haaland? Scored 2 today. Dortmund went 2-0 up, and then they still somehow managed to capitulate and lose 4-2 because Lewandowski said, hang on, Erling, you've banged in 2, mate. Hat-trick incoming. So Lewandowski decides he scores a hat-trick, and Bayern win that game 4-2. What do I think the team tomorrow will be? I don't know if I still have my predicted team up here, but if I do, let me have a look. Yes, here it is. So I've gone for Alisson, Trent at right back, Robbo at left back, Fabinho and Nat Phillips because Ozan Kabak isn't available for the game. Then Jones, Wijnaldum and Keita would be the midfield that I'd go with. I'd rest up Thiago for the Champions League. And then Jota, Salah and Mane. That's the 11 that I go with. That's the prediction that I went for in my predicted team and predicted score prediction video. If City win the Champions League, will 5th place get a Champions League spot? No. So what happens there is, if a team wins the Champions League from the Premier League that finish outside the top 4. So let's say, as an example, Chelsea finished 6th and won the Champions League. Then they would get a Champions League place. But if a team that finishes already in the top 4 wins it, no extra places. At least that's my understanding of it. What have we got? I don't think Haaland's going to LFC either. Never said he was. Mr. I'm blue, dabba dee, dabba da. I don't think we deal with Mino Raiola for a start. AOUAR played good today in the French Cup. Good. He's a good player. Like we've always admired AOUAR. I think a lot of clubs, Arsenal fans, were hoping they could get him over the line. So, no doubt there's a very, very good player there in Houssem AOUAR. So, yeah, I'd have no issues if he came in. Brian said it's definitely time to drop Bobby. That's kind of where I am, unfortunately. No secret of the fact he's my favourite player, but yeah, I think it's him or Mane. It's one or the other, and I just think Mane has that more potential to be explosive or do a moment of magic at the minute than Bobby. But I could understand fans suggesting either or at the moment. I mean, I'm still scratching my head as to how Mo was taken off. I'll never get that decision from the gaffer. If we don't get Champions League football, I want Rafinha in the summer. I wouldn't mind Rafinha. I wouldn't mind Neto. Both players that I really like. Houssem AOUAR, we've said before. Then you look at the centre-back scenario. There's so many good ones out there. I actually seen a report today that the man who I say is never coming to Liverpool, Koulibaly. Well, apparently £38 million could buy you Koulibaly this summer, so that may attract a lot of interest from clubs in the Premier League. Maybe United, City, maybe Liverpool. I don't know. I just knew at the 80 million or the 100 million price point we were never going to look at that. Then you've got Jules Koundé is another possible example. Ben White is somebody who we could look at. Obviously the guy AOUAR from Marseille, who we tried to get in the January window, but they couldn't find a replacement, so we ended up bringing in Davies and Kabak obviously is alone with an option to buy. So look, I'm under no misconceptions. I'm not someone who's deluded and sitting here and thinking, we're going to go out there in the summer if we don't get Champions League football and sign Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland or Jadon Sancho. But the other signings we've spoken about, they're still realistic, I think, no matter what happens, likes of your Netos maybe, or Rafinhas, or AOUARs, or even Jules Koundé, I think, if the right money was there. And I think, if my memory is correct, Jules Koundé is a release clause of, I never remember if it's 63 or 68 million pound. And another thing, actually, Kanade, another centre-back who a lot of you guys have mentioned before. Today I actually only found out that he has a release clause somewhere in the mid-30 millions as well. So 35, something like that perhaps. Maybe a little bit higher, but it's definitely less than 40 million he has a release clause. What have we got? Patson Daka is another good show. I mean, we've long been linked to Patson Daka, obviously of Salzburg. We've got good relations with Salzburg, having brought through Takumi Minamino there. Obviously, Sadio Mane and Naby Keita came through the system there as well. So yeah, we've got a good relationship with those guys. So Patson Daka, certainly somebody who would be good value. Hasn't Firmino always been like this? Usually isn't the person that gets the assist or goal. Just asking. No, it's a fair point. Like, I've never looked at Bobby, mate, in as somebody who I'm expecting to score 25 goals a season, but you expect him to pitch in with his 10 to 15, a few assists, but even his hold up link play, bar the assist for Salah recently, we haven't seen that flair from Bobby that we've seen before. He seems to, in my eyes, be just having a little bit of a lack of confidence right now, and maybe Father Time's catching up with him. Maybe there's something in the dressing room that we don't know about, a bit of unrest. I don't know, but he's not the only one, so I'm not just going to stick the boot into Bobby. There's a lot of players there that aren't living up to their own high standards. Neuhaus was another one as well, Jaden, who we've been leaked with. Who do you think will win the Champions League and the Europa League? It's impossible to predict, Killian. Honestly, you could have asked me that at the start of the season. I'd said the same thing. There's a lot of quality left in the Champions League, and you can make the argument for 5 or 6 clubs, and the Europa League as well. They're two difficult competitions to win. What else have we got? We need a Koi kind of player. Yes, we do, mate. That's a good show. Mane not good enough this season either, said Jack. Hasn't hit his heights, mate. I'd agree. Sadio is capable. Do you know what shocked me? Shocked me that Antonio Rudiger had him for pace twice the other day. That really shocked me, because one thing I've said before is Sadio Mane from a standing start is electric, but to see Antonio Rudiger match him stride for stride and get there ahead of him, I was a bit shocked by that at times when he switched over to the right hand side after Salah went off. Do I think Mbappe will leave this summer? I think Mbappe will leave if the options are there for him. So, it's no secret he likes Liverpool. It's no secret he likes Real Madrid. It's no secret he idolises Zinedine Zidane. But we both know in a COVID world that football finances aren't where they once were. So the question, I suppose, is can anybody pony up the dough to get him out? Or would it be option B that we've seen talked about before as well, of him potentially signing a new deal with PSG, but a deal that includes a release clause or a buyout clause in there? So if he can't get the move to a club he wants this summer, then maybe he will look a year ahead, sign an extension with Bayer or with PSG, but with that release clause that he finds acceptable. That's another option that I think will be explored. If you were the manager, who would I sign? Look, mate, it's I don't know what I'm working with there if I'm the manager finance wise, but I've said the players before who I like the look of. We've gone through the same lists over and over, and I do like the El Surprise one as well. The one none of us see coming but just comes in. What else have we got? Do you think a striker who can challenge instead of Divok's gone? Like, whatever we say here, Divok should be gone. One way or the other, out the door in the summer. I don't care if it's for 5 million, 20 million or 7 million. Gone. Bye-bye. Not good enough. And yes, he should absolutely be replaced by someone like Patson Daka Hamza, who I think is a great show. Pope as a backup keeper. I want Caoimhín Kelleher as our backup goalkeeper, ladies and gentlemen. Now, unless the club want to send Caoimhín out on a year's loan to get some experience, I could understand that as well. So I'm given 60 million. Who would I sign? I'd probably resign if I was only given 60 million, mate. Let's be honest. But what does 60 million buy in this day and age? Pedro Neto probably cost you 40. So you don't even have enough to go and sign Patson Daka then. So yeah, I'd be very unhappy if I only had 60 million to work with. And I can't say who will realistically sign in the summer, Zane, because I don't know where we'll be, mate. The difference between Champions League football, both from a monetary standpoint and from, of course, being an attractive option. That's the case. And what I won't put to bed, though, one thing, if I could put any rumour or any nonsense to bed, it would be this whole stuff about Klopp's future. He signed on till 2024. I don't like the fact that German articles are coming out and saying that he's going to become the German manager, or most likely to become the German manager in 2022. He's contracted to Liverpool till 2024. I want Jurgen Klopp to be able to build his second team. And by second team, I mean, his second great team. So he's built one team that's had success. That cycle is somewhat coming to an end. Time to let him allow him to build his next team. And that's what I'd like to see. Because I think Klopp has another few trophies left in him if he gets the right support from the owners. I'm a United fan, but I respect your fairness and your banter. Thank you. On something, I want to just address something that some of you guys probably seen on social media. Maybe you haven't, so actually maybe I won't address it. Maybe you didn't see my Twitter post, so I'll push on actually. Have you heard about the Marlon from PSV rumours? No, I haven't. I think Fabinho and Henderson are back in midfield. We'll see the rest of Thiago. Totally agree on that, Jack, mate. That's who he was brought in to play with. So whether he was brought in to play with Fabinho and Hendo, or Thiago and Fabinho, or he was brought in to be part of a three, but not be in that deep line 6 role that he's currently playing. What do you think of Newcastle's Anas Maxima? He's quality, but again, I have the Adama Traore vibe about him that I'd like to see him on a more consistent basis deliver than... But there's no doubt, quality player, Sir Maximin, but I get the same vibe that I got about Adama Traore, in that I'm not yet 100% convinced by him, but I can't deny the lad's quality. And the potential is definitely there. Do you think United would sign Varane or Koundé? They should be looking to sign either, mate, yes. Again, Pau Torres is a name that I've thrown around as well if you're looking at a cheaper option. Bit more lightweight, but Jules Koundé, 22 years of age, absolutely bargain anyone who gets him, even at the 60-something million. And Varane, yeah, it would be... Look, they're both good centre-backs, so any team that would sign them would be getting a good player. What about Ismail Assar? Again, we had inquired about him last summer, mate, before we brought Jota in. Again, I always give credit. I think it was a Melissa Reddy article on this one suggested that we were met with a fee that was both high and they wanted the majority of it up front, which, you know, by the way we did the deals for Diogo Jota and Thiago Alcantara, that we weren't in a position where we were going to be able to pony up most of the fee up front. We paid a percentage and then the rest over the course of their contract. So I think that's what put paid to those Ismaila Sarr rumours or that potential deal. Should we sign De Jong? If we're talking about the Barca youngster, I mean, I don't think they'd want to be selling them. They'd probably more likely to move on their aging, higher paid players. But as a footballer, yeah, I'd have him in a second. Could we sign Depay on a free, or is he off the Barca? Again, from everything I've read, it was suggested that he was going to go to Barca. I don't know if he signed a pre-contract agreement there or not. That can be done in secret. He doesn't even need to inform Leon of that. If he's in the last 6 months of his contract, he can sign a pre-contract agreement with any club outside of France without even having to inform his club. That's his right, same as Gini as a free agent. So, to me, he'll probably end up at Barca, but, you know, stranger things have happened. Hope you're having a lovely night. And have you seen the link to Konsa from Villa? Yes, I have. And I'm not going to lie, I've only seen glimpses of Konsa at Villa, but I have seen the links, yes. What's my opinion on Kabak? It's too early, I think, Bobby, to make an opinion, mate. He hasn't set the world alight, but like any player that comes into a new league, and let's not forget, he's still, 20 years of age, and playing beside other inexperienced fullbacks. So I think the jury's still out on him, but I certainly won't be making a decision on him at this early in his career. We have him till the end of the season. I love the deal that we took, you know. We pay him a loan fee. If we like him, it's 18 million plus add-ons. If we don't, then maybe we look for a Kaleda Carr or somebody else again in the summer. We need a big signing in the summer. I agree, Demetrius. The owners have to really pony up this summer. There's been too many quiet or almost negative net spend summers for me. I think they have to roll the dice this summer a bit. I would agree. What do I think of Rafinha? I really, really like him. I really like him and I really like Neto for different reasons, but both very, very good footballers. Don't really have an opinion on Gravenberch. Carla. So guys, sorry, just let me know because on my screen something looks like it's buffering. But if I'm coming through alright, just give me a thumbs up in the chat just to let me know, because it says excellent connection, but it looks like it's buffering. Yeah, it is buffering. No, look, oh, it's back there anyway now. It did look like it buffered for a bit, but I don't know what you were at, Goldfish, but you said make me, so I'll take that as a challenge, mate. Just make you disappear. That works for me. Good. Sorry, yeah, I think it did buffer there for a second. I could see it at my end that it was, but can I tell us about the AOUAR and Bissouma stuff? I think it stems from goal, mate, that they've linked us to both those players. Now, look, it's no secret that Liverpool have been tracking Yves Bissouma for a while and Houssem Aouar, so, you know, it's not really a surprise to me, but, you know, good quality players that we've been linked with there, so, yeah, nothing wrong with it. Do you think we should start Davies against Fulham? Is he back fit? Because he's been picking up knocks and strains, so, if he's fit, look, I'd like us to have a centre-back pairing that sees out the season, and if that allows us to put Fabinho back into midfield, happy days. Who's winning the Champions League this year? Impossible to say. You can look at City, you can look at PSG, you can look at Bayern, you can look at Liverpool, you can look at Chelsea, or an outsider or two as well. It's very, very, very difficult. He is fit. Be interesting to see if Kloppo drops him in then from the start. You know, he hasn't kicked the ball for Liverpool yet, not even as a substitute appearance. So I'd imagine we'll probably see Fabinho alongside Phillips tomorrow, I'd guess. Right, I want to take a second to address that thing from social media that I spoke about earlier on. So anyone who follows me on Twitter, which, you know, I don't know if any of you guys are on Twitter or not, will have seen a post that said it looks like the dream that I had to go full time by the end of this season is on its arse. Without going into too much personal information, I made a deal with my wife at the start of the year. So I've never taken a wage from Anfield Agenda because, as you guys know and I've been public about before, I'm on disability allowance. I've generalised anxiety disorder. I've got Asperger's. I'm somebody who suffers hugely with anxiety and I don't go outside. So I've never taken a wage from Anfield Agenda because I refuse to be a benefit cheat. So this year was the year I said to my wife that, okay, it looks like by June there's a chance I could be able to go full time. And if I can go full time, then we can actually take a wage and I can move off social welfare, I can move off benefits, and I can go into this full time because I have a conscience and I need to be able to look at myself in the mirror and I'd never fuck over the system. So unfortunately, it looks like the source that we'd hoped would be able to allow me to get to that point isn't going to be there. So all I can promise you right now is that I'll see out the season because I have commitments and the channel has commitments. So I will see out the season and I will cover the Euros, and I'm going to do my utmost to get that 100,000 YouTube silver play button for Connor. But after that, I can't promise anything because I need to keep my words to my wife. I need to do what's right for our family. So just putting it out there now, I promise you I'm not going anywhere. You'll see me through March, you'll see me through April, you'll see me through May, and you'll see the Euros covered. But I can't promise that after that because, you know, I've invested a lot into this from our family. The few bit of savings we had, the iMac, as you know, cost me nearly $3,500. And I don't take a wage from Anfield Agenda because it wouldn't be right. And I've always been open and honest. I've never hidden anything on here. I'm on disability allowance for my disability, my mental health issues and stuff, and I've never hidden that. I've been very honest from day one, and I've always told you guys the blunt truth. So I don't want to be somebody that scams the system. I refuse it. I refuse to be that lad. I want to look myself in the fucking mirror, and I want to be an example to my wife and kids. So I would never do that. I have never done that, and unfortunately, it looks like the potential that it could have happened at the end of the season looks like it's going to be gone. So, yeah, look, it is what it is. And I'll say what I said to everybody else. Whatever happens, I have had some of the best moments of my life on here. I have made and met some of the most beautiful people on here. And I will have confidence that I've only got from you guys that I never thought I'd be capable of. I've pushed myself to places I never thought I'd be able to. I never thought I'd be able to sit in front of a camera and talk to thousands of people. So whatever happens, I'll be so proud of everything and so thankful for all your love and your support, and the belief that you've given me and myself. So that's I just wanted to touch on it because, as I said, I'll be here right through end of the season. Nothing's going to change in the coming days or months. Or weeks, I should say. So just wanted to put that out there, and yeah, that's it. I won't be going back over it. I won't be repeating it. I just wanted to say it once. So because I've always been honest, always been frank from day one. So yeah, that's that. So let's get back to talking about football, which is why we're all here. What have we got? Why not give Williams and Tsimikas a start? Tsimikas has been weird. Like, he hasn't even been in the squad recently, which has been a bit confusing. You've probably seen links to him with a loan move away, which I think his camp have come out and rightly said no to. So yeah, I'm confused on that one myself because we know he had the injury that kept him out for a while, but it has been weird that he hasn't had many minutes at all at Liverpool, to be fair. What would happen with Mundo Sport, though? I haven't thought that far ahead, Addison, to be honest with you, fella. That's a much smaller channel anyway, which was never going to be something that would be creating a real revenue stream. Like, so, I have no idea, mate, is the honest answer. Have RTE made a bid for me? God, no. Imagine me there. God, it'd be fired in a day. Imagine my language in RTE or something. Nah. Look, I've said this to people who've messaged me about it. I'm at peace with this. Whatever happens, I'm at peace with it. This isn't an emotional, sad moment for me because I look in that top left corner and see numbers I never ever thought I'd see, or deserve. So all I will say is I will fight to try and get that 100k because Connor deserves that fucking award more than anything else. So I will keep pushing my ass off and keep grinding to try and get us to that 100k to give Connor that award because his hard work deserves it. And I won't stop. I'm gonna keep fighting to try and get that for him because my mate deserves it massively. What have we got? Brennan said, respect to you. We don't have enough honest people like you around. Yeah, at times I've thought I'm too soft for this industry as well, which is probably true. But yeah, just last night it came over me. I just thought, you know what, you've achieved more than you ever thought you were going to, and I've pushed myself from being somebody that wouldn't even use my real name when I wrote an article to doing a podcast to sitting down here to chatting to some people I never thought I'd get a chance to chat to. Jack May, talked in the Irish guy, Paul Tompkins, Guillaume Balaguer, Graham Hunter, just some amazing people that I never would have had a chance without this channel. So how can I be sad in any way when it's only impacted my life in a positive way and it's given me more belief in myself than I ever thought I'd have. So yeah, I've nothing to be sad about, and I won't be sad about it. I'm immensely proud. Am I going to Sky Sports? I wouldn't work for Sky Sports, mate. I told you that before. beIN Sports or ESPN, those boys want to hit me up. I'll jump to Doha and work for beIN Sports, no problem. Basuma is class, mate. I agree, he's a good player. What have we got? Do you think any top footballer would be willing to come to Liverpool if they miss out on top four? It's a tough one because in my head, and look, I'm not inside any negotiations, never have been, but in my head I look at it in a way that if you get the odd player who'll come to Liverpool because they believe in the plan, they believe in Klopp, they know this season may be a blip if we don't get Champions League football, and they'll come in because they know, alright, let's get us back to Champions League football, challenging for titles. So you'll get those players, and they'll probably be the ones Klopp is looking at. But then you'll have some players that, yeah, you may have to pay over the odds for wages, but that's a dangerous slope. We went down that slope before, signing players, who we were taking a risk on, rolling the dice, weren't the finished article, paying over the odds for, and we ended up being stuck with quite a few of those players for a fair few years. I'm talking the Lazar Markovic's of this world. So it's it's a difficult position not being in Champions League and trying to get those players. One season, perhaps you get away with it, but you certainly don't want to be going near a second season without Champions League football. And that's why this summer is so important for both the owners, the manager, and everyone. That we get it right, we get the recruitment right, and we make sure, look, we're going to be having some quality back, don't get me wrong. When Van Dijk's back, when Gomez is back, when Hendo's back, when we're able to move Fabinho back into midfield, when hopefully we bring in another attacking player, there's lots of positives and a great spine there to still build on for next season. If a player wants to leave, they can go, and I think Klopp will be like that as well, Aaron. Yeah, if somebody doesn't want to be at a football club, then you don't want that mentality in and around the dressing room. You want people who are going to believe and fight for every minute of the game. And to be fair to this group of Liverpool players, they have been, like their name said, mentality monsters for the longest time, and it's natural that doesn't burn out. It's natural that maybe some words from the manager don't have the same impact on certain players that they used to have. That's just natural, I suppose, in anything like this. So yeah, I'm massively hoping that we do get somehow claw our way into Champions League places, but if not, it's going to be a big summer that we need to be very, very smart about what we do. What else we got? I say we should invest in Saka. I think we missed that boat, man. We could have got him before he signed that contract at Arsenal, and yes, you would of course have had to have paid compensation to Arsenal for his football education and training, but he signed his deal at Arsenal. Very, very good young player, doing well there with Arsenal, and I don't think he'll be going anywhere anytime soon. How am I? I'm good, thank you, pal. I'm good. I'm good. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow again. Hopefully to get back to winning ways. But yeah, no, I'm good. What do I think about Klopp out? I think it's ridiculous. Honestly, I won't ever be a Klopp out fan. Um, yeah, I mean, I question some of his decisions, and I think nobody is beyond reproach, and nobody. I still am scratching my head, as I said earlier on the video, at those substitutions that he made during the week. So he's not infallible, but I'm certainly nowhere near a point where I'm saying Klopp out. Signed Tielemans. Again, going to Leicester, always going to be difficult because they have a habit of getting top dollar for their players. And, Harvey Barnes was another one that we were linked to from Leicester. But they're trying to build something themselves, and Leicester have owners that are very shrewd and very good in the way they go about their business. So I think there's more value to be had if you look outside the Premier League. What else have we got? Now that we've brought Thiago, Firmino shouldn't have to drop deep. If Thiago's meant to be the creator, we should go all out for Haaland. I just can't see any way we sign Haaland. I'm maybe being ultra negative on that, but between his agent, between the premium you probably have to pay to get him this summer because the release clause doesn't kick in till the following summer. I just don't think we'll be in that market. I really don't. Rodrigo de Paul is another one we've been linked with, of course, as well. The guy from Udinese, the guy from Neuhaus from Borussia Mönchengladbach, another midfielder we've been linked with. Renato Sanchez, another midfielder we've been linked with. Aileen said, Craig, you've helped me so much with my depression. It's sad in my life, but I saw your channel in 2019. I have been addicted to your streams. I just want to thank you. Hey, look, you've got nothing to thank me for. My lady, I should say. As I've always said, whatever I've given to you guys, you've given right back to me. So if I've helped anyone, that's lovely to hear. But I promise you, you guys have helped me more than you'll ever know. So please don't ever feel the need to thank me for that. It's a two-way street. Someone said super chat, Craig. I've already read that, I think. Same respect to you, Craig. We morons, people like you around. Yeah, I've already read that one, mate. And thank you, Brendan, for that. What have we got? We should go for Pedro Neto. Yeah, I like Neto. There's a little bit of snidiness as well about Pedro Neto that I really like. Yeah, I do. There's something about that kid I just do like, I have to admit. What do I think of, I don't know, Harry, is the honest answer on that one. The Mondi, the Real Betis thing, mate, we were linked with him in January. So his contract runs out at the end of the season. Mondi, a Real Betis defender. I think he's 28 or 29, isn't he? So, again, do we want to be shopping around in the free signing bin market? Like, we could have got him in January for a fairly reasonable fee and said no at the time. So, I don't think we will be going back for him, but we had been linked with him, certainly, in previous windows. Your thoughts on Rafinha? Love him. Great player. Quality. An absolute snip for Leeds, I think, for the 18 million they paid for him. Seen an interview with him today to say he likes life at Leeds. He's been very well accepted by the fans in the city and he's enjoying his football, which is exactly what you'd like to see as well if you're a Leeds fan from him. But quality, mate. Yeah, definitely. Craig, lost my auntie last year. My depression really downhill, and I came across your passion for Mighty Reds and everybody else's top. Love you too, man. And look, I'm so sorry about the loss of your aunt. Yeah, life can be shitty, mate, at times, but I'm glad you're here with us. I'm glad you found us, mate, and I'm glad that you enjoy interacting with the other people, because I've said it before, we've got a wonderful group of subscribers in here that class act, each and every one of them. So yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna call that one a night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be on at 1:30 for the watch along. I'll be doing a quick post-match reaction, and then I'll be flying over to our second channel, Mundo Sport, to cover the Manchester Derby over there. So I hope you can join us for that. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Drop a like on the video. As I said, I'm on a mission to try and get to that 100k before the end of the season. Who do I think should be captain when Hendo goes? Trent, Robbo, Jones, Van Dijk. I mean, there's a few options there, to be honest, buddy. There's a few options. But look, ladies and gentlemen, have a lovely Saturday. Enjoy the UFC if you're watching it later on. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Lots of love to each and every one of your families. Take care. And